beautiful morning in the city of Abuja and hopefully across the world. It's the 1st of February 2024 and it's a fresh edition of the newspaper review on Citizen FM 93.7. My name is Lawrence Omoette. We sincerely hope that you would have a beautiful time as we explore the world of the media as brought forward by different newspapers today. Once again, welcome to the show. And as usual, my guest is already seated, our analyst, Salmon Salami. Good morning, Mr. Salami.
Very good morning to you, our presenter.
All right, Mr. Salami, we'll take a back seat for now and while we explore the media space and see how the different newspapers are portraying the happenings of the last 24 hours, the last 48 hours. And we start with the Punch newspaper. CBN orders banks to sell excess dollars in 24 hours. That's coming from the CBN. And from that, we move to another story. Port Harcourt refineries tests run. Port Harcourt refineries test run. Ongoing marketers project fuel price act. Stakeholders fault $2 billion turnover requirement for Port Harcourt refinery concession. Those two stories are from the Punch newspaper. And there's another story here that has nothing to do with oil and gas. Obasanjo nearly punched me for canvassing constitutional amendment. And who said that? Olanipekun. And let's take an excerpt from that story. Former president of the Nigeria Bar Association, Wole Olanipekun, senior advocate of Nigeria, on Wednesday said that former President Olusegun Obasanjo almost punched him for advising that the 1999 constitution be amended when President Obasanjo was the sitting president. Well, I'm sure that it will make an interesting read for a lot of people. From that, let's go back to the reps. Reps order fire service to refund 1.48 billion naira COVID-19 fund. There's no end to this. The Public Accounts Committee of the House of Representatives on Wednesday directed the Federal Fire Service to refund the sum of 1.48 billion naira within a week to the Federation account, being the intervention funds it received for the COVID-19 health pandemic, but which it cannot account for. That's from the Punch newspaper. And still staying with the Punch newspaper, unpaid debt, gas shortage affecting power firms. The Minister of Power, Bayo Adelabu, has listed unpaid debts and low gas supply as some of the reasons for the inability of power plants to operate to capacity. Adelabu stated this on Wednesday when he visited a power plant in Ogun State. Well, I'm sure that we are going to hear more about that. We're still staying with the Punch newspaper. President Tinubu orders AGF Lokoburi to end $1.3 billion oil block dispute. That's a directive from the president. President Bola Tinubu has ordered the Attorney General of the Federation, Lateef Fagbemi, senior advocate of Nigeria, and the Minister of State for Petroleum Resources, Henikin Lokoburi, and other agencies of government to clear all court cases around the $1.3 billion deep water oil block located in southern Niger Delta. That's it, a marching order from the president. Still staying with the Punch newspaper, maybe the last story before we leave. Makinde gives companies with explosives 72 hours ultimatum. Oyo State Governor Sheyi Makinde has signed into law an Executive Order 001 of 2024 on the handling and storage of harmful substances in the state. In a section of the order, the governor gave 72-hour ultimatum to anyone in the state in possession of any kind of explosives to declare them. That's from the Oyo State government. Well, that's how much we can take from the Punch newspaper. From the Punch newspaper to the Vanguard newspaper, and the Vanguard also leads with the CBN story. Says CBN clamps down on banks, pegs trade assets in forex, and let's see how the Vanguard newspaper puts the story. Says in a move to further boost liquidity in the foreign exchange market, the Central Bank of Nigeria has ordered banks to limit the net open position of their foreign currency assets and liabilities to 20% of shareholders' fund. The order was contained in a January 31st CBN circular. Well, that's a similar story to what we got from the Punch earlier. And still staying with the Vanguard newspaper, okay. Tinubu rejects labeling of Nigerians as corrupt, talking about President Bola Tinubu. The story has it that President Bola Tinubu has taken a firm stand against the unjust stereotyping of Nigerians as inherently corrupt people. He expressed the view at a forum with the theme Public Engagement on Youth, Religion, and the Fight Against Corruption, organized by the Economic and Financial Crimes Commission. That's from the Vanguard newspaper. And still staying with the EFCC, there's still another story here from the Vanguard too. EFCC probes ex-minister Sirika over Nigerian air deal. It does look as if we will not hear the end of this Air Nigeria deal. Minister of Aviation and Aerospace Development, Mr. Festus Keyamo, has revealed that the EFCC is investigating the former minister, Hadi Sirike, over the controversial Nigerian air deal. Keyamo said the EFCC is investigating the deal. There is a criminal investigation going on. I have called for the report. That's quoting the minister himself over that deal. Okay, still staying with the Vanguard newspaper. FG to reform NYSC. Floats special bank for youth. Well, the federal government has announced initiative to transform the prospects and opportunities for Nigerian youth. The initiative includes a reform of the National Youth Service Corps to focus more on ensuring that when young people finish school, they are ready to obtain good jobs or start their own businesses. This is a good one, if you ask me, making a lot of Nigerian graduates to depend less on white-collar jobs. We're still staying with the Vanguard newspaper. There is a rather sad story here. Over 30 feared dead as tanker explodes in Imo State. And still with the Vanguard newspaper, repairs. Lagos State to shut Marine Bridge for 4 months. Wow. And one can just imagine how it would be when you had all the access roads accessible. There is still serious gridlock in Lagos, and now this. But well, for the good, at least for the maintenance of that facility. And there is a story still in the Vanguard newspaper. The story broke yesterday, still trending. EFCC battles religious sect over 13 billion naira money laundering for terrorists. This is a rather very shocking story, and I'm sure that relevant authorities will deal with this. And still with the Vanguard newspaper, so many stories. Senate summons CBN governor over free fall of naira. Obi visits university on Niger Delta, talking about the Labour Party presidential candidate. Well, that's the much we can take from the Vanguard newspaper. Okay, the Leadership newspaper is our next port of call, and it leads with the security story. It says, insecurity, no negotiation with bandits, Northwest's governors vow. Governors of the Northwest geopolitical zone have resolved to reject any peace deal with bandits. This is just as the Zamfara state government has inaugurated a 2,600 member quasi-security organization called Community Protection Guards to help in rolling back the threats coming from the bandits in the state. So you heard that, no negotiations with bandits. Okay, still staying with the Leadership newspaper. Two courts give conflicting orders over arrest of Fubara's chief of staff. The Federal High Court, Abuja, and the River State High Court sitting in Port Harcourt have given conflicting arrest orders on chief of staff to the River State Governor, Honorable Edison here, over alleged terrorism charges. That's still about the crisis going on in River State and the politics of supremacy there. And we'll also look at some stories here from the Leadership newspaper. Maybe we start with some sports stories, AFCON, and don't forget that Nigeria is playing tomorrow. AFCON 2023. Mali coach eyes Cote d'Ivoire scalp. Still talking about AFCON. And 4-man snub South Africa tips Nigeria for AFCON title. And still on sport, but this time back home. Kidnapping, okay. AFCON 2023. Supporters Club rallies support for Eagles against Angola. I'm sure that all Nigerians are looking forward to tomorrow when our dear Super Eagles will be engaging the Angolans for a ticket to the semi-finals. And back to some politics here. Reps give fire service 7-day ultimatum to return 1.48 billion naira COVID-19 funds. I'm sure you heard that before, and this is another one. And still in politics, reps to conclude constitutional review by December 2025. It has so far received 40 alteration bills so far from Nigerians and groups. And still in politics, Adamawa Deputy Governor lauds Judiciary over Fintri's Supreme Court victory. Still there. And APC Professional Council drums support for Laguda. And still on other leadership newspaper, dissolve boards of parastatals agencies, others. Imo Assembly urges Uzodinma, talking about Governor Hope Uzodinma. And still in politics, 5 political parties to participate in Yobe by-election. This is according to INEC. All right, this day newspaper is the next now, and let's look at the slant of the stories. Some of the stories we have seen in other newspapers, but look at this. Shetima, federal government committed to enhance infrastructure for business at Lekki Free Zone. That's coming from this day newspaper. And for some politics too, Lokpobri confirms negotiation to end $1.3 billion OML 254 dispute. And that was the one we spoke earlier of, where the president gave a directive. And back to some politics, 1999 Constitution Review. House of Reps receives 40 bills for amendment. Wow. And INEC pledges to make voting more accessible to persons with disability. This is a good one, and we hope that it sees the light of day. And Adedeji says, armed forces activities key to domestic revenue drive. That's still from this day newspaper. And this story too we've seen before. EFCC chair, that's chairman of the EFCC, saying religious body laundering money for terrorists. This is very, very huge, and we hope that the EFCC will do what is needful to unravel, prosecute, and maybe get conviction for such a body. CBN issues fresh requirements to mitigate foreign currency risk. Still from this day newspaper. Okay, The Guardian is next, and after this we will open the phone lines and we'll begin discussion on some of the stories. But let's take this story from The Guardian, and just like most other newspapers, The Guardian leads with the CBN story. CBN frantically tightens nukes on banks, foreign exchange operations, and speculators. That's how The Guardian posts the story. And foundation task graduates mentees to imbibe leadership skills. That's still from The Guardian newspaper. And still, reps set December 2025 to deliver new constitution. Obaseki, Infracorp, others sealed 228 billion naira deal for reconstruction of Bini Asaba Expressway. And EFCC traces 7 billion naira to religious bodies, allege faith leaders laundering funds for terrorists. And this is good news, very positive news for residents of Abuja. It says Wike insists on May 29 delivery date for Abuja Light Rail. And we all say amen to that. And Ibadan explosion marking the science executive order on handling storage of harmful substances. Still with The Guardian, 3 nabbed for swindling students as police unveil cybercrime desk. Kudos to our gallant officers and men of the Nigeria Police. And still another exploit by the police here. Police arrest suspected kidnappers, armed robbers, others in Taraba. Well, that's it for this segment. We will return after this short break, and Mr. Salami is already waiting to go into details of the newspaper. It's still newspaper review on Citizen FM 93.7. My name is Lawrence Omoette. Please don't go away. When we return, the phone lines will be open.
Abuja. Wake up. Reach out. Speak up. Speak out. You are the voice of a new generation. And this is your station. Talk Radio 93.7 Citizen FM.
Registration for UTME into Nigerian tertiary institutions begins January 15th to February 26, 2024. Please check with NIMSI to ensure that all data agrees with your details. Each candidate must create a profile using a phone number not previously used by other candidates. Send your NIN by SMS text to either 55019 or 66019 to generate the profile code. A profile code of 10 characters is received by the candidate in same phone number, which is presented to purchase the UTME e-pin. Registration fee inclusive of all relevant charges is 7,700 naira with mock exam or 6,200 naira without mock exam. Center and back charges of 2,700 naira and 4,200 naira respectively have been included in the fees to be collected and will be remitted to the center. JAMB will be providing the e-copy of the reading text free to the candidates through the following approved channels: JAMB website, candidate's email, candidate profile, and the QR code on the registration slip. Direct entry registration starts February 28th to March 28th, 2024.
JAMB, enhancing academic excellence.
The issues. Everybody respected that because it was coming from the president.
Theory behind it, the way the people took the battle in their hands.
Some civil servant retired without a roof over his head.
The cause.
If we cannot trust you, then you cannot take the ticket of this country. Who cannot be divulged from those who cause the crime. Honestly.
The passion.
You must have national spread. So where is it?
Why are you so concerned about that?
He said money was.
I never.
No.
The platform is always the same.
Insight on Citizen FM 93.7.
The source is constant.
My name is Lawrence Omoette.
There is always an opportunity.
Tomorrow, Insight returns with another interesting.
Insight with Lawrence Omoette on Citizen 93.7 FM Abuja. Be part of the experience.
Thank you so much for staying tuned. It's still Citizen FM 93.7 and its newspaper review. Welcome to the second phase of the program. And the phone lines are open now. You can join us on the show by calling 0903 22 29797. That's 0903 22 29797. You can also call us on 0818 22 22205 or 0818-2222-206. And don't forget, you can send us a WhatsApp message on any of these numbers and we will be glad to read your message. Just let us know where you are writing in from and boom, you will be attended to. So that's how it's going to be. We are going to look at some of the headlines in details now as we bring in our master of the game, Salmo Salami. Welcome to the show, Mr. Salami.
Once again, you are very, very welcome, my brother.
All right, Mr. Salami, let's start from Zamfara, where we had the Northwest governors saying that enough is enough. We are no longer going to negotiate with bandits. And let's refresh our memory with the stories again. Governors of the Northwest Geopolitical Zone have resolved to reject any peace deal with bandits. This is just as the Zamfara State government has inaugurated a 2,600-member security organization called Community Protection Guards to help in rolling back the threats coming from bandits in the state. What's your take on this?
Well, good morning, Northwest governors. We have said these times and times over that you don't negotiate with criminals. Never ever negotiate with criminals. In the first instance, are they people that you should welcome? Are they people that you should curry their favor? When you negotiate with a criminal, you have given him the opportunity of thinking that he's standing on a high ground. And this is not the way to go. You eliminate criminals or you arrest them and make them to face the consequences of their act. They have their day in court. But it is easier said
Exactly.
than done. Because what Pantami did and what happened that time is a lesson for all of us. You see, God forbid bad thing. If one of one's daughters is in kidnappers' den and there is nothing forthcoming from those to whom we have surrendered our munitions and powers and the state that we believe that should take good care of us and our security, because the first reason for having a government and the essence of any government is the protection of life and property. Anything short of that is as good as not having a government. So if for any reason government fails to do that constitutional requirement, what do? And you are at the mercy of these thirsty vagabonds, because they are not human beings. They are just not human beings, and I don't even pray that one has a reason to be with them, because Kirikiri can never be Sheraton. So in that instance, what do? And they keep on calling you and they allow you to hear from your word. You can imagine the agony. You can imagine the dire need to get your word back. In actual fact, it is not whether you are ready to pay or not. What is important to you is, I want to have my word back. This is where we have to balance the two. Yes, the community guys set up. Are they going to carry ding guns? Or are they going to fight with their hands? Even if they know how to do taekwondo. This is not a child's play. There is a need for the government at all levels now to sit up and take solid care of this insecurity. Let us sleep with our eyes closed. Don't give these people any space. No breathing space. No kidnappers should be entertained, or no kidnappers should be allowed to gloat over this bestial act. We should not allow it. It is unacceptable. Just as the Northwest governors have said, there is no negotiation. We will never negotiate with criminals. It is not the right way to go.
All right, not the right way to go. Just like you said, it's if we're talking about the government, Yes, but my concern has always been individuals who are at the mercy of some of these criminals, but we don't need to embolden them.
No.
Because when you make it an official policy to negotiate, you have emboldened them and you have given them an edge over us, and no responsible government will sit back and watch any space being taken over by non-state actors. So we say kudos to the Northwest governors. We hope that this is sustained. It's one thing to say this, it's another thing to carry it out. So as I said, the numbers are still open: 0903 22 29 797. You can also call us on 0818 2222 205 or 0818 2222 206. Mrs. Salami, let's look at another disturbing story here. This story broke yesterday, and my first reaction when I saw this story on the internet was to do my layers of check to see whether it was just one of those stories thrown around by some people who were looking for, who wanted to blow, as we call them. I wanted to be sure that this is real, and it turned out to be real. EFCC battles religious sect over 13 billion naira money laundering for terrorism. The chairman of the Economic and Financial Crimes Commission has revealed that the war against insecurity has been protracted, disclosing that a powerful religious sect in the country secured a court order to stop it men from probing the 7 billion naira linked to some terrorists. The commission said it was investigating a 13 billion naira fraud when it discovered that 7 billion naira of the cash was linked to a religious body. Mr. Salami, this is very sensitive.
Lawrence, this is disturbing. It's unsettling. And this is saddening. I read this story too, and I told myself that have you come with the solution, or you are part of the problem? You mean religion is now part of the problem and not the solution to the problem in our hands? I've been saying this, that commercialization of religion is a disturbing phenomenon in this country. The emphasis today is more on prosperity than salvation. Jesus did not use any aeroplane.
Mr. Salami, that's a story for another day.
But a situation whereby the EFCC will now link a powerful religious sect to a humongous amount of money is unsettling. Let's leave it at that for now, as the story is unfolding.
It's unsettling, actually, and it's very sensitive. You know the way as Nigerians we behave when any issue revolves around religion. We are quick to jump to defend our faith without seeing, looking through or arguing through or investigating the substance of allegations. I won't be surprised by the time the EFCC come out with the name of the organization or the sect, and then everything, people will start taking sides, and before you know it, they will lose focus of what is at stake.
I agree with you, because religious matters are issues of the heart and not the head. And it is emotion laden. And you see, whether we like it or not, what you make of your God is personal. It's between you and your God. But I think religion should serve the purpose for which it's meant, to make us a better person. That we should continue to strive towards becoming a better person in such a way that the way of all mortals, when we now die, Al-Jannat or paradise will be our abode. That is what I think religious bodies and religion should serve. Our pastors, our imams should keep on drumming it into our ears that we should fear God. We should do things or do unto others the way you would like them to do to you. I keep on asking the question. See what our country has become. See what Nigeria is today. Those who made this country the way it is today, if they are not Abdul, they are Moses. If they are not Malik, they are David. Where was the Quran and where was the Bible? Why they were doing what they did? And no religion preaches stealing. Thou shalt not steal. It is in the Quran, it is in the Bible. Do we respect it? Do we go by it? Lawrence, this is a discussion for another day.
It is, certainly. It is. And I really hope that Nigerians will rise, at least for once, and forget their primordial sentiment and give the EFCC and other security agencies, the other relevant agencies, the support they need to combat, because terrorism at the end of the day will touch everybody. If you think you are not concerned today, tomorrow you never know what happened. Remember, Mr. Salami, in 2009, when we had pockets of disturbance in Maiduguri, a lot of the other part of Nigeria thought it was restricted to Maiduguri.
It was an isolated case.
And people, in fact, this same religion, a lot of people imputed religious motives into it. A lot of people ascribed a lot of things, and we were like, since it's not in our neck of the wood, we don't bother. But today,
here we are.
So anything that will make EFCC, ICPC, the Nigerian Army, police, anything that will make us as a nation get rid of these people, we should support it and forget our political leanings.
You know one thing, Lawrence? A criminal is a criminal.
Anywhere.
Irrespective of the religion he professes. Let's call them their names, rather. Stop calling them Muslims or Christians. They are just criminals. It doesn't matter the profession, the religion you profess. If you are a criminal regardless of the name you bear. And criminals should be dealt with. They should be made to have their day in court.
And that's the mindset that we hope that a lot of Nigerians should imbibe, because these days sometimes you feel very sad when you see people justify certain things because the perpetrator is from our side or we share the same religious faith or stuff like that. It doesn't really. And you know the funny thing, Mr. Salami, I used to tell people, these high-profile Nigerians you're defending today, they don't care about you.
Do they even know you exist?
They don't even know you. There's a joke that, during campaigns, the politicians, the leaders will use thugs to prosecute their campaigns. But when it comes to the swearing in, you see them with their kids and their wives. And you will watch from home if you're lucky.
To me, it is utter stupidity. You know, collective ownership of criminals is stupidity.
It is.
The man who doesn't even know where you are, is your interest his interest? No. I think even though religion is a matter of the heart and not the head, let us be sensible.
Okay, I think we should leave it at that, Mr. Salami. We've said enough of that. And let's go back to some politics. And this one, Reps set December 2025 deadline to deliver new constitution. Mr. Salami, don't forget that since on Tuesday we've been talking about the resumption of the National Assembly. And one of the things we said they will be focusing on will be the amendment of some parts of the Constitution. Let's take maybe one or two paragraphs from that story. Deputy Speaker of the House of Representatives, Benjamin Kalu, has revealed that 40 bills have already been received for the commencement of the 1999 constitutional review. He also announced that the review committee would complete its assignment by December 2025. Kalu made the disclosure at the pre-inaugural meeting of the House of Representatives Committee on the Review of the 1999 Constitution. The Deputy Speaker also said the Constitutional Review Committee would be officially inaugurated on February 29, 2024. So, long and short, in the next 2 years, so to speak, a little less than 2 years, we will expect some amendments to the Constitution. And there's so many things, Mr. Salami, fighting for attention: electoral reforms, devolution of powers, and so many other things that Nigerians, and this is the opportunity, maybe we should let Nigerians know that when the committee sits, they will hold public hearings, and this is the time for you to reach out to your lawmaker to say, this is what we want, could you do this for us? This is the time to even demand your lawmaker to come back to the constituency and be briefed on what the constituency needs, because that's how it's done. It's not after the process has been completed, then we go on social media to complain, to say this and that. This is the opportunity, Mr. Salami.
Well, constitutional amendment, that essentially is the work, or one of the works of the National Assembly, the representative of the people. The law remains the way it is, and that is how the courts will apply it, unless the constitution is amended. This is a very good opportunity for the critical core stakeholders, and actually for the people, so that at the end of the day we can say confidently that we, the people of Nigeria, have given unto ourselves this constitution, by which I mean it will be the constitution of the people, by the people, and for the people. That underpins democracy. But more than the amendment and the review,